Hey guys, I just finished watching Global Warfare as requested by Nick Opalewski. It was okay, I guess. It wasn't the best wrestling show I've ever seen, let's put it that way. For the Intercontinental title, there was HBK versus Crush. Crush won by countout. That match was okay. That match wasn't too terrible. Yokozuna versus Hacksaw Duggan, that was terrible. But I'm not a fan of Yokozuna, and while I don't dislike Duggan, I don't care for him in the ring very much. For the tag titles, you had Money Inc. versus the Steiner Brothers. Money Inc. is, of course, Ted DiBiase and IRS, aka Mike Rotunda. You get three guys in the ring that all have major amateur backgrounds. The Steiners, Rotunda. The only thing I'm seeing, and that should have made for a great match. Not that DiBiase can't wrestle. I'm not implying that at all when I say that. What I'm saying is Rotunda wrestled for Syracuse. The Steiners both wrestled for Michigan, for the University of Michigan. So I think that there could have been more wrestling in the match. Money Inc. got themselves disqualified by hitting one of the Steiners with the belt right in front of the referee. That's sort of an expected outcome because you're not going to see titles change. At least in that time period, you're not going to see titles change. A, outside the US. B, not televised in some way. It just didn't happen back then. And if for some reason it happened on a house show, they didn't count it. They would go to another house show like 2 days later and have the belt go back to the guy who was still champion on television. I kid you not, look it up. Then there was Mr. Perfect Kurt Hennig versus Samu. Both fantastic second generation wrestlers. It was actually a really good match. Hennig won with a perfect plex. Bam Bam Bigelow versus Bret the Hitman Hart. That was probably the best match on the card. It was back and forth. It was really good. Bam Bam is actually, well, he's another one of those big guys that can move. Bret won. Then we had Doink the Clown versus Crush. Who the hell cares? Crush won by countout because Doink just left. Now, I don't know if this was the original Doink or not. The original Doink, for those who do not know and those who are not old enough to know, was Maniac Matt Bourne. He was the son of Tough Tony Bourne, who worked alongside Roddy Piper in Portland. So yeah, that's Excuse me, but there were about, I don't know, 3 or 4 doinks. Matt got in trouble for drugs or something, and someone else took over the character, and then someone else took over the kid. Some people only played the character once. So I have no earthly idea if this was the original one or not. Matt Bourne also played a lumberjack character in WCW. He was best known as Maniac Matt Bourne in World Class. Just to give you some background. Then you had Scott Steiner versus IRS. Again, Scott Steiner and Mike Rotunda. Could have been a great match, but it was okay. Scott Steiner won what should have been a better match. Both men were capable of a better match, in my opinion. Then we had Yokozuna versus The Undertaker for our main event. Yoko hit The Undertaker with a wooden bucket and got himself disqualified. They thought they were gonna beat up The Undertaker after, but The Undertaker got up and barely chokeslammed him. Took him maybe an inch off the ground, and Randy Savage is like, that was amazing! Seriously? Yokozuna could have jumped that high off the ground. Sorry. That wasn't amazing. That was weird. Would have looked better had he been higher off the ground. I'm trying to think. Oh, and Mr. Fuji hit Paul Bearer with the flagpole. Supposedly to take him out of the equation while they beat up The Undertaker, which didn't work. So The Undertaker won by disqualification. I was expecting The Undertaker to win. Particularly since it wasn't for the world title or anything. This was a Coliseum video. And it was hosted by Jimmy Hart, talking about how he did the music for a lot of the superstars, which he absolutely did. He's a very accomplished singer-songwriter with an absolutely beautiful voice. He looked like he was in good shape, too, actually. The person that I read couldn't stand the Jimmy Hart stuff, because it was after he was with Hogan, when he turned babyface, and for some reason, the review that I read before I watched it, so that I could get the card, because I didn't read who won anything. I just needed to get the card, and from what I read, that person was not impressed with Jimmy Hart's hosting. I didn't really see anything wrong with it. Yes, there was a lot of Hulk Hogan put in there, a lot of merchandise and stuff. But that's a WWE thing, not a Jimmy Hart thing, or WWF thing, not a Jimmy Hart thing. It's what he was required to do. So it's beyond his control, if that makes sense. Then again, I like Jimmy Hart. So. Now, would I recommend it overall? If you like old school wrestling, yeah. Watch it. I would give it out of 5 stars, 3.5. I had to give it a letter grade. A C minus. Because it had its good points. thank you for joining me. Have a wonderful rest of your day. I am trying so hard to get my voice to project on this microphone, and I watch it and I gotta turn it up to 58 to hear myself, and it's ridiculous. And I just want to apologize for that. I don't know why that is. I'm hoping the way I have the microphone configured now, it'll work better. We'll see. Thank you for joining me. Have a wonderful rest of your day. God bless you. Please subscribe, please like, share, all that good stuff. And thank you so much to all of you who already have subscribed. Excuse me, and just a programming note, today's Kid Missing video is up. I don't take holidays, so even though it's a holiday, doesn't matter. And it is a gorgeous sunny day, but I bet you it's cold. Let me sort of explain that. Here, where I live, although it might not be, because there looks like there are clouds in the sky. If it's clear on a winter's day, and there's no clouds in the sky, and it's sunny, and it's a beautiful blue sky, it is epically freezing. And I remember asking my dad, why these gorgeous winter days are always the coldest. It's something called radiational cooling. There's no clouds to buffer. There's no clouds for insulation. So it's just plain cold. I think it's cold today anyway. I could be wrong. Let me look over here. Oh, it's not cold today. Wow. Guys, I think we're gonna take a walk. That's what I think. So I'll see you then. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful, like I said, rest of your day. God bless you. And I'll see you in a bit. Bye-bye.